All right. Hello world, I guess, by Polkadot. So welcome everybody. It's awesome to see everybody here. We've got quite a few people actually who joined. Obviously, you all know you're here for the information more and the kickoff of the Hello World campaign, which we're organizing on Gitcoin. So what we wanted to do today is to shed some light on some of the details, maybe give some more insights, what was going on in the background, the rationale, how we set this up. And if Connor is going to join, we also have a guest from Gitcoin as well. So I suggest we get right to it. So the agenda, like said, is actually quite straightforward. We just want to talk about what Hello World is. We're going to talk about some of the challenges, prizes, what the timelines are, tell you a little bit about the resources that you can use, as well as what to do if you have questions. We do have some really nice community partners that help us promote these events, so we're going to introduce them as well. And like I said, hopefully Connor is going to join us. Connor is working at Gitcoin and has been a tremendous help setting this up. So before we get to it, let me introduce my, let's say, co-host, Dan Wieser. Dan and me both work at the Web3 Foundation at the specifically growth and community team. So any kinds of hackathons that you see, it's probably us as well as Chris Hutchinson Hutch. We've been doing also Hackusama, if you've noticed that a few months ago. And like I said, Connor from the Gitcoin side. All right. So Dan, any introductory words from your side as well?
I think you covered it. Let's just get into it.
All right, cool. So we do want to keep this short, just so that we don't lose people halfway.
One small thing, maybe move your mouse because that might bother people.
To the OCD people.
We've had those comments before.
All right, so the general question, what is Hello World by Polkadot? And it's a good question, right? And it spans actually back a few months when we signed an agreement with Gitcoin integrating Polkadot and Kusama, so DOT and KSM, into Gitcoin, making them actually one of the first natively available coins outside of the Ethereum space, right? Which is a huge step. This is honestly, this has been a fantastic journey for us. It's been just amazing to see the whole process and being integrated and testing it out in the background. So it's just fantastic that we can, as this kickoff of DOT and KSM being natively available there, we can organize this this fantastic event. Before I move forward, the fact that DOT and KSM are available there does not just mean that we're going to be doing KSM. Everybody can actually take advantage of this. So if you want to sponsor or fund open source projects, fund bounties, and all the other things that Gitcoin offers, you can now use DOT and KSM for that. But hopefully Connor is going to talk a little bit more about that as well. Now, as said, DOT and KSM are now integrated into Gitcoin. And what we wanted to do with Hello World is really bring the Hello World concept alive. Now, everybody who's ever done any kind of coding or has tried to do any kind of coding like I have, one of the first things that you learn or that you try to do is print out Hello World. And it's a really, really basic thing, which sort of forces you to understand how to set things up, what some of the components are, as well as some of the more general concepts around that surround certain development areas. With Hello World, we really want to do a 101 campaign. This is not meant to be a full-on hackathon where you need to spend hours and days, if not weeks, on some sort of software or hack or submission piece. It is really meant to guide you into the Polkadot, Kusama, and Substrate ecosystem, which, to be frank, is it is a bit different than what we've been used to from maybe the Bitcoin and Ethereum world. So the Hello World campaign is really set up more as an earn-like competition for developers. Now, if you have a look, the challenges are divided in a few different levels. We're going to get to that. But it is really meant to incentivize you to not just go and read documentation and plow through Rust documentation and learn about Polkadot.js on your own, but actually provide you with a nice structured way of doing this. So what you can do is you can solve some of these challenges and win prizes later on. Like I said, we do want to help you along that journey with some of the incentives. What this is not, and this is really important, this is not a typical hackathon. So we do not expect that you go in and there's just one or two categories like we did, for instance, with Hack Kusama. If you've been following this, it is not a typical hackathon. Although it is part of the hackathon section on Gitcoin, it is not meant to be a typical hackathon. If you have not yet visited the hackathon, the Hello World landing page, you can do it on this link. So go to Gitcoin, navigate to hackathons, and find Hello World, or if you type in this URL directly. All right, so for anybody who's not familiar, this is how it looks. This is the sort of landing page, the prizes view. There's a few different things that you can do. So have a look, go through it. There's people participating. We've got almost 580 participants right now, which is just amazing to see. Thank you everybody for being here and trying these things out. There is also a guide which sort of really nicely explains this. If you head to the Polkadot homepage, there's also a blog that explains these things. So there's ample resources to do this. Now, getting to the gist of it, right? The most important part, the challenges and obviously the prizes. The challenges, like said, are set up in 3 or actually 4 different levels. So we have beginner challenges, we've got intermediate challenges, as well as the advanced ones. You've got a full table there, which you can use later on, and this is actually available on the guide as well. There's also, surprisingly, ecosystem projects involved, and we wanted to do this very early because it's important. It's important to know that Polkadot is not just Polkadot, right? Polkadot is made up of an ecosystem of projects coming in and deploying parachains, being part of the ecosystem, and it's important to have ecosystem projects very early on involved with these kinds of events. So in total, we have 24 different challenges that you can go ahead and solve. All prizes are going to be distributed in DOT as well as KSM. So for those that don't know, Polkadot actually has sort of a cousin network that's called Kusama. And Kusama we like to talk about Kusama as this canary in the coal mine, right? It's a more experimental blockchain than Polkadot itself. It has way faster governance cycles. It's meant to be more sort of exciting, right? Polkadot is going to be moving a little bit slower than Kusama, but nonetheless, they do share the same code base. So that's why we do have some KSM prizes here as well. Now, one thing that is really important is that we have capped all of the challenges at 50. This does not mean that we're not going to be accepting more than 50 submissions. Obviously, you can go on and do these challenges after there's more than 50 submissions. But this does mean that only the first 50 are going to receive a payout. 50. Let's leave it at 50 for now. We've been discussing whether we up this a little bit. It does depend a little bit on the event itself and how it goes. But it is an important fact. So if you want to be part of this and you want to receive payouts, do not wait till the last moment to get in. One thing that is also really important is that aside from these smaller challenges and these smaller prizes, we've created a extra prize, a larger $150 DOT worth prize for the first 50 that managed to solve 18 or more challenges. So this is, we really want to incentivize you to go in and obviously have fun, but also at the end of the day, if you do take a few days of time and really solve all of these 18 or more challenges, you're going to be able to earn, yeah, early bird, exactly, earn quite a lot of that. And that's, it's important for us to really incentivize people to plow through and get that early knowledge in. So a quick word about the ecosystem projects that are participating. You might have noticed there's a little bit of different logos. So Moonbeam on the platform is actually called PureStake. Now, PureStake is the company in the background of Moonbeam. That's why the logo is also a bit different. Plasm beneath that, there's Stake Technologies in the background, so the logo might be different as well. Then we have also Akala and Fala Network. So these are all let's say parachain candidates or currently substrate-based chains that want to become parachains. And it's good to have them here. Moonbeam specifically focusing on the Ethereum compatibility. Plasm is a scaling solution. Akala is more in the DeFi space, and Fala, interestingly, provides privacy. Right, so it's a good mix. It's a good mix to understand as well, because eventually what's going to happen in Polkadot is that dApps are going to be sitting on top of this whole ecosystem. So it's good to get to know them very early on. Right, so now I'm going to hand it over to Dan. Dan, go ahead and tell people if they're already too late or not.
Cool, thanks, Urban. And first, I just wanted to say great job to Urban. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying the experience so far. He put a lot of this project on his back and did an excellent job. So great job to Urban. And just wanted to also say thanks to all of you on the call. I know it's super late for you, PK, in Australia, and we've got a lot of different people on here from the Ambassador Program, different developers like Laurent, who was one of the winners of the Chainlink Hackathon. So Crypto Day, it's great to see a lot of you guys on the call, and thanks for joining. So like Urban said, I'm Dan Reeser, work on the same team as Urban and Hutch at Web3 Foundation. I'm going to start off with the timeline here. So obviously the hackathon or the Gitcoin campaign went live yesterday, so you've all probably dove in, if not are about to. And the duration is about 4 weeks. So this means that for 4 weeks, you'll have the opportunity to go through some of these challenges, but the prizes, like Urban mentioned, are capped once we hit 50. So some of these that could actually happen today, to be honest, or tomorrow, but some, probably the more advanced ones, will stay open for quite a bit longer. Next slide. So a lot of you have I think, discovered the support chats on Discord. So we're getting tons of different questions, ranging from questions about the challenges themselves to how to submit, how to change your address that you submitted, for example. So feel free to bring all of those to the Discord channel. As you're going through the challenges too, a lot of these do, especially for new people to building with Substrate and inside the Polkadot ecosystem as a whole. There's a lot of resources that you'll probably need in order to complete some of these challenges. So definitely make the Polkadot Wiki your friend. We've got a technical education team at the Web3 Foundation that are just top notch, and they've made really, really thorough, great wiki. I believe it's wiki.polkadot.network. So check that out for anything that you might need to know there. Great search functionality as well. Substrate Seminar is also a weekly call that happens every Tuesday. So this coming Tuesday, you can go there. There's usually a topic, but you can also come and ask any questions, actually on Crowdcast as well. The Substrate technical chat is another chat that you'll see within our Discord. There's also a bridge to Element, or what used to be known as Riot. That's where pretty much all the Substrate developers live. They're able to answer virtually any question you might have. So feel free to bring technical questions there. And then within each challenge, so Urban has kind of laid out links to resources that are specific to that challenge, along with some of our technical team, like Dan, Forbes, and Bruno, who helped out with that. And there's also a link to other resources. So this is, so what are the specific resources that can help you with this challenge? And then for other resources, it's pretty much just kind of a huge list, a laundry list of all the necessary resources to help you out. Next question. So mentioned this already, there's actually a link down here the little green button that you can click to ask any questions you have there. And it's also a great way to just, if you're kind of newer to the community, to get integrated with what are the ongoing conversations in the general Polkadot water cooler, checking out the Polkadot direction channel, which is super interesting to get a little bit of an insight into what's going on with Polkadot's governance right now. Validators chat, just watching what's going on with validators. And then of course, like the Twitter and Reddit feeds are really helpful just to keep an eye on what's going on. So we will see you there. So I think this is about the second to last slide. So just want to take a quick second to thank these community partners for their help in kind of making Hello World a massive success as it's already been. We're working with everyone on the slide. I'll quickly read off in different capacities. CoinGecko, we've got the Berkeley Blockchain Accelerator out in California at UC Berkeley. Persistence, Mousebelt, Hack Australia, Coding Earth, and Bitcoin Bay. So a lot of these organizations we worked with previously for Hakusama and have great relationships with them that we expect to continue on in the future to help partner up with them on their events, like we're doing, for example, with Bitcoin Bay right now in their ongoing hackathon, a team based out of Toronto. And then like the rest, partnering with them on our events as well as whatever they have to come in the future. So thanks to all of these people and teams.
All right, so then could you check if Connor is here maybe?
Yes.
Let me take the time when Dan does his thing to answer Martin's question. Is it the first 50 for each challenge? So yes, each challenge is capped at 50. So if we actually go back here, this just means that there's 7 different kinds of, for instance, beginner challenges. Each of them, when you finish them, you can earn 3 DOT, and that is capped at 50. Now, all 24 have the same cap, or 25 if you count the extra prize as well. So yes, it is for each one. It's not meant to be 24 challenges and only 50 for all of them. It is actually per challenge. So if anybody has any questions, just let us know.
Yeah, actually, we would love questions because Connor's not quite here yet.
Cool. All
right.
right.
Can mark this one as answered.
Yeah. So if Connor is not here, maybe let me take a second to introduce Gitcoin for anybody who doesn't know Gitcoin. I'm probably not going to do such a good job as Connor would, but I think it's worth taking a minute because the Gitcoin guys have been tremendously supportive in all the things that we've been doing, and they do offer quite a good product suite. Unfortunately, I don't have all the numbers, how big it is, how big the platform is, and so on. So the way Gitcoin works is Gitcoin's original sort of, let's say, mission was to fund open source software, to not let development of open source software just hang in there, but it's actually meant to incentivize and pay out these kinds of bounties. So one interesting thing of Gitcoin, if you hover over the product site, the products tab, you can see that they have a multitude of different kinds of products. So bounties is actually just one and was meant as this first core thing, which quickly escalated into hackathons. And I think we had an interesting discussion this week with them where they were saying, obviously, there's this whole COVID thing going on and people are just staying inside, and there's this tremendous need and want of people participating in events still. So hackathon numbers have been going up. Really interesting, the grant stuff. So what Gitcoin is doing is quadratic funding. Now, if you follow the crypto Twitter and Vitalik specifically and the Gitcoin guys, you're going to see that they're quite bullish on quadratic funding, and there's a good reason for this. This just means that there's being online funds set up to finance certain projects. Not going into too much detail how it works and why it works that way, but it is a super interesting topic, and hopefully in the next coming months, you're actually going to see some DOT and KSM grants as well. Now, quests and kudos are sort of this more engaging thing. Quests are quizzes. Do watch out for a Polkadot quest in the coming few days. We've been just putting it up, as well as kudos. Now, kudos is it's basically an NFT minting platform. And anybody who's going to win a challenge is most likely also going to get a NFT from us, a kudos. Hopefully, Ethereum gas prices, we're going to permit that, because kudos are still on the Ethereum chain being minted. Last time I checked, it was like $10, so it does depend a little bit on that. So that is it for the Gitcoin stuff. One thing that I wanted to walk you guys through is also RMRK. Now, RMRK is a NFT, let's say it's an NFT hack on Kusama. This just means that NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are going to be available on Kusama. And everybody who's going to be participating in the Hello World event is actually going to get one of these minted to their KSM address. So rmrk.app. You can go ahead and check it out. Bruno has been doing this. Bruno from the technical education team on the Web3 side. So do check it out. It's highly interesting, and how he uses RMRKs to basically issue non-fungible tokens on Kusama.
Urban, we've got a few questions in here if you want to
get
into these. So Martin asked, you guys mentioned something with ambassadors. What is their role? That's a great question. We've got, I think, about maybe 10 plus ambassadors on the webinar right now. What the Polkadot Ambassadors Program has been around since early 2019. I think now we've got 412 people in like 68 countries, actually exactly that, because we just went over those numbers. But what it is it's a group of people about 50% developers, 50% non-developers or non-technical people who are interested in kind of getting involved in the community and helping out in whatever way they're able to. So on the technical side, we've had people, actually Sota from Plasm, who's one of the ecosystem projects in this, has been an ambassador since virtually day one. So clearly he's been kind of building a company, building a team on Polkadot. And then we've got a bunch of other things. So we're starting to put together some working groups, actually. So we've got people who are doing events. Like we just had a great event down in Venezuela, and they're going to start doing ongoing events about weekly. We've got people doing a lot of localization work and translation. So many of you on the phone many of you on the webinar know the importance of having documentation in your local language. Not everyone's fluent in English, so there's a ton of work that's been done on that front. We also have, let's see, people, the localization piece is big. We've got Polkadot Pathways, which is a new kind of platform for advocates who are going in and kind of using gamification to start learning more about Substrate and Polkadot and so on. And then on the developer side, we've got a working group who's working specifically on building solutions with Substrate. All in all, it's basically the kind of core group around the growth effort behind Polkadot and Kusama. So if you're interested in getting involved, meeting other people in the group, we've got a list of groups on Discord where everyone's kind of coordinating things. We're always looking for new people who are interested. So here's a link to that in the chat. So thanks Martin for the question. Next, we've got what is Web3's main goal with Hello World? Is it for onboarding devs, showing them why they should build on Polkadot and over other chains, or educating them on how to go deeper in Polkadot's potential? So maybe Urban, you can take that.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good question, and it actually lies at the core of our thinking behind Hello World and comparing it to other events that we did. So the reasoning behind, or the idea, the goal behind the Hello World campaign is really to provide people a nice and easy way to get to know the ecosystem. Obviously it's fantastic if people come in and get to realize some of the advantages of the network, some of the bigger reasons why people should be developing within the Polkadot ecosystem. But specifically for Hello World, we really want to provide a little bit more guided onboarding process, right? Because and I think then we can share this with the crowd as well. When we did Hack Kusama, which was a fantastic event, right? It was 7 weeks long. We had 11 new parachains built, like projects actually getting VC funding, getting grants, people getting jobs within the ecosystem because of it, right? It had a massive impact. But what happened is that people who were not well versed in substrate development and the Polkadot ecosystem had a more difficult time of actually making quality submissions because it takes time, right? Rust specifically is not it's not a very well used language. Not on the world, there's not a lot of Rust developers to say it like that, which means that we went back to the drawing board and we said, listen, let's not continue doing just full-on hackathons and blowing it out and multi-month events. Let's actually tone it down a little bit and provide some sort of easier on-ramp for people to let them see, hey, this is a node template. You can use this and you can set up your node and add it to telemetry, for instance. You can dive into the documentation, you can get to know Rust, and so on, right? So we do plan on having follow-up events to this. Actually, straight after Hello World, there's probably going to be a follow-up event, but not to give too much away. But yes, that is the idea, to get people an easier on-ramp into the ecosystem. So what's the main audience? Web2 devs venturing into crypto or more experienced Web3 devs looking at other networks? I'd say both, really. Obviously, these are very deep questions, obviously, that we do think about quite a lot, right? Because onboarding Web2 developers onto the blockchain ecosystem is not just a Polkadot thing. It is also a general concept that every blockchain project out there is sort of dealing with or struggling with. Like how do we onboard new people into the ecosystem? Not just people trying to buy and trade cryptocurrency, but also developing projects, right? So this is a very deep and interesting discussion to have. But in general, I think Gitcoin has a good mix of Web2 and Web3 developers, given that it was Web3 first, and that you could use ETH and then DAI and all of these different kinds of cryptocurrencies to pay and fund open source software development. I'd say predominantly on Hello World, you're going to see Web3 developers, but we do make an effort to onboard people from the Web2 ecosystem as well. But to be honest, it is a different kind of beast to be talking to absolutely non-blockchain developers, trying to make them understand base concepts, principles, use cases, and then onboarding them onto actual application development or substrate development and so on. So I hope I answered this to the fullest. It is a very interesting discussion, and we do keep on having these discussions internally as well. All right, so there's a note for those blockchain/trust developer newbies like me to mention when setting up your playground for these challenges. One thing noticed using the currently nightly Rust gives me issues and had to use something like nightly 2020 1006. Thanks for putting this on. All right, everybody I think can read this as well. And this has been discussed in the Discord as well. So do check that out. For somebody who's diving a bit deeper, Substrate technical chat on Discord and Element is a good resource. And then we have another question: any workshops planned as part of the event? So we did not want to plan any specific workshops for the event. And the reason is that we just didn't want to go overboard with this. The reason is also that there's ample resources out there that you can use to get these challenges done. We do, Dan mentioned before Substrate Seminar. Substrate Seminar is essentially a workshop, right? They do cover specific topics, but if you go into one of those sessions and answer questions, I can assure you that the Parity developer advocates are just going to be thrilled to help you out. So you might as well end up with a one-on-one workshop, really. So I would really implore you to go and check out Substrate Seminar if you're looking for a workshop type event.
I'll also add too, if you're on your desktop, if you click, maybe right-click and open up in a new tab the Polkadot logo, this will show you the current upcoming crowdcast. But if you scroll down, it's all the past crowdcasts. There's been probably, I don't know, I would guess 10 plus workshops done here that are available on Crowdcast, but also available on our YouTube. And they also explain like the pre-work that you need to do before the workshop and things like that. So there's a lot of workshops that are kind of like on demand, if you want to think about it that way, that you can do on your own time that have a specific topic and would probably apply to a lot of these different challenges in the hackathon. So definitely check those out too, whoever asked that question.
Yep. And I mean, I think that's it, really. If there are no more questions, then maybe we should wrap it up.
Yep.
All right, cool. Like I said at the beginning, the idea here was to really just give you an overview to maybe clear up some of the questions that you guys might have. We are absolutely available for any kind of input and help on Discord or other chat platforms if you find us there. There's absolutely no problem. We are going to make the most effort to help you out. We also have some of the Gitcoin people in that Discord to help out with any kind of UX bumps maybe that you might run into. Oh, we had one more question. Do you think that the Gitcoin's way in the future of software? Okay, it's an interesting question. Another deep question. Yeah, this is good. I mean, my personal opinion, I'm very fond of Gitcoin, to be honest. I think what they're doing is really good, and it's a good way. I know there were a lot of different kinds of attempts at funding open source software. There's also specialized bug bounty platforms and so on. So I don't know, Tomasz, I can't give you a specific answer to that. Maybe Dan has an opinion there as well. I do feel that it's a good use case for crypto in general, and putting it to use to fund open source software, to give out grants to people that are actually trying to do things. So yeah, like I said, I'm very fond of Gitcoin.
Yeah, I think Gitcoin's done a great job, and one thing just to note is just kind of a tip of the hat to the team at Gitcoin for realizing that we are in a multi-chain. We're headed to a multi-chain future. They were willing to take on this integration and work with us to get DOT and KSM integrated. So I think that's very forward-looking of them, and pretty commendable, to be honest. So it's been great already to be on the platform. It's clearly been successful so far with almost 600 people, and hopefully much more over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, who knows what'll happen in the future, but I just think they're on a great path for sure.
Yep.
So yeah, with that, let's wrap it up. Feel free to, the Polkadot Discord is set up so that you can't DM people unless you add them as a friend. We're trying to get away from all the spam that's been happening recently. Feel free to add myself or Urban as a friend on there so you can give us feedback if you have it. I know there's some slight technical complications and stuff on Gitcoin that people are working with. So let us know if you have feedback. We're always trying to improve. But thanks again for everyone for jumping on the call, and we will talk to you guys all soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Enjoy the event.
Bye.